It's Ilana and Jamie, and today we were going to speak a little bit about respect.
Yeah, so to define respect, respect is when I respect you.
Yeah, so
Keep going, keep
we were talking about this before, and I just said to Ilana, you have to try and give a bit of a more definition. Respect is like respect, you know.
But it's such an intuitive thing that it's really hard to define. So here we go. First of all, it's got to be mutual, and it's when I treat you and you treat me as if your or my thoughts, rights, needs, feelings, opinions really matter and really count.
Because they do, right? And that's the truth. I mean, have you ever had this experience, right? I'm not saying this is like me, of course I don't do this, right? But like, I have a tendency maybe to think that like my time's a little more important than other people's. I'll try hard not to, but sometimes like I'll show up late, or I'll expect my kids or family to like be ready to leave when I am, but then I'm always holding things up because I'm involved in something else. That's not really super respectful, right? And so I have to work on that and try and be as careful with Ilana's time or my kids' time as I am with my own.
Right, and space is another one. You know, when you walk into a room that you let somebody else in your family use and there's mess all over the floor, they haven't put things away. Yes, you get frustrated at the mess, but you also have the underlying feeling of like, they didn't really respect me or my things because they didn't think about how I would feel coming back in to find that everything was thrown over. And it's okay, you can pick it up because you can do that. It's a feeling of not being respected, of just not having your rights and your needs met well.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And in the positive.
And in the positive, well, you know, sometimes, for example, this is one of the things I love when Jamie does. Like, I walk into a conversation, and you know that feeling. You're like, who, what, when? And like you're trying to catch up, and everyone's just talking ahead because they're happy about their conversation, and you're feeling so invisible, maybe.
Right.
And then there's that time when you sit down and you don't know what's going on because you were coming late to the conversation, you know. And then Jamie, when you do this, like, I feel so special, but you'll be like, hold on 1 second, let's just brief it on what's going on. It's like, oh, okay, I count. The fact that I want to be part of this really matters. Or when, you know, sometimes I'll even overhear you in your living room, and when I'm in the living room and you're talking on the phone, you know, with your work strategy and stuff, and you're discussing something we've discussed weeks ago, and you'll say, oh, Ilana and I were discussing this, and Ilana had a thought of that. And I think to myself, wow, you were really listening. Like, I really matter. It's such a good feeling.
Right, and I think it's, you know, I've definitely felt that also. Like, I've got a home office, I've been working at home for years, and like, I know the kids will come in, they'll take a computer, a chair gets broken, you know, just stuff, right? And I'll mention it to Ilana, like, it's a little hard for me, I don't feel so respected, like I'm trying to get stuff done here, and like everyone's just treating me. And then I'll come home one day, it's happened, and there's like a new chair, or like the kids are really being careful to put the computer back, or this, that, and the other. I didn't have to go on about it, I just mentioned it in our relationship and closeness, but Ilana went out of her way to kind of make that happen. I've also been trying really hard to be gluten-free. I've been vegan for the last couple of years, and you know, there's just like Ilana taking much more focus in terms of my diet and make sure there's always more vegetables, always more fruits, you know, than stuff in the house. Those things just, you know, you don't have to say it too much about it, but you just feel really cared about, kind of subconsciously almost.
Yeah, but the problem, of course, with respect is that we think of it as a really formal thing. You know, when you think of respect, you think of your rabbi or your priest or your school teacher, and you think of calling somebody Mr. or Mrs. And I think you find it weird if I called you Mr. Cowland all the time. You know, and at
Only
home
10%
we are.
of the time.
Okay, it's no 10%. And so, you know, Rabbi Cowland sometimes feels that, you know, like it's too formal, and really relationships are more familiar. And in the name of familiarity, we get into habits that actually really compromise our respect, because you don't scream at your school teacher, but you might scream at your spouse, and you don't make fun of your priest or your rabbi, but you might make a joke at your spouse's expense. And it's really important to ask ourselves, have habits crept in the name of familiarity that make the other person feel not special, not respected, not seen, not considered?
Right, and we do want to be familiar, we want to be close, we want to be able to be forgiving of each other, but to take as a baseline that the person always feels respected is huge, because when we feel invisible, we have no emotional energy. Well, why am I doing this? What am I knocking myself out for? I'm getting nowhere. I try so hard. No one else is trying, even though it's not true, but you feel that way. When you're feeling respected, especially when you haven't demanded it or asked for it, your emotional kind of storehouse is full. You've got more patience. It's really solid strategy for having the energy and giving your partner the energy. To really make sure that the marriage is working well, the relationships are working well, and that you've got patience and emotional strength to deal with all the stuff that comes up all of the time. Okay, thank you so much.